You and I are about to watch real stories captured live on hidden surveillance cameras, documenting the raw pain of lovers shattered by terrible infidelity. This show is for the faithful, acting as a warning to the false-hearted, hoping to inspire a return to honesty and real virtue. Coming up next on this episode of Cheaters, victims scream out in pure chaos, demanding to know what is going on. One betrayed partner yells about wasting 2 whole years together. Another partner screams about paying for her cheating man's very own shoes. They demand their money back, giving them 5 seconds. Real reality television brought to you by the private eyes at Cheaters Detective Agency, only on Cheaters. We return for another brutal season of shocking heartbreak. Tonight, Keisha Simmons arrives at the studio, carrying heavy suspicions. Desperate for answers, she finally seeks help. Clark Gable hosts this intense episode of Cheaters. Keisha recalled that when they reunited 2 years ago, things were absolutely amazing. Duke supposedly made her feel exactly like a perfect queen, placing her high up on a beautiful pedestal. She felt so loved that no one could possibly touch her. He swept her off her feet every single time. Duke, age 27, is an insurance salesman accused of upselling himself to a totally different agent. Cheaters tasks a skilled team to run surveillance on him. Later on, investigators spot the suspect stepping out to grab a heavy bag from his parked car, a vehicle authorities have strictly forbidden him from driving. Duke slips right into the waiting car. The investigative team shadows the white sedan to a mall. Let's see what happens as Duke and his unknown female friend grab fast food. Keisha noted Duke recently caught a drunk driving charge, losing his license. She used to drive him around absolutely everywhere. But just lately, he suddenly rejects her help entirely. Whenever she offers a ride, he tells her no, shutting down her constant support fast. Now Duke claims his friends drive him absolutely everywhere, rarely ever asking Keisha to take him anywhere. Because of this, she barely sees him or spends time together. Whenever she does call, he acts completely distracted and distant. He just seems entirely uninterested in talking on the phone. His sketchy behavior is just looking awful. The alleged adulterer and his date finish dinner with dessert. They chat near the car. Finished eating, Duke shows off his so-called royal manners by graciously opening the driver's side door for his side piece. The deceptive duo drives right back to the suspect's house. Suspect Duke grabs his bag as he climbs out. The pair uses these fleeting moments to secretly canoodle behind the car. You and I watch the day end as Duke walks home while his date leaves. Keisha desperately wants to know what he is really doing and why the hell he treats her like a worthless side piece. Keisha needs to know if Duke is actually cheating or just chilling with his friends. If he is playing games, she will have a serious problem. There will be hell to pay. They have been through way too much together to just let another woman step in. She will be damned if she loses her spot. Let's watch closely as cameras stake out the suspect's residence. Later that evening, our operatives spot the white sedan. Duke joins his suspected mistress inside the car. The suspect and his new companion drive to a park. The couple shares a few drinks near the back of the car. Duke leans in and gets a sweet kiss from the young lady, known to us only as Jessica. A little later, the suspect's date wipes his sweaty face. Simple innocence quickly turns to lust. Duke and his lady friend heavily make out on the trunk. Once their evening finishes up, they both slide back into the car. Duke proves his gallantry again by holding her car door wide open. The troublemaking twosome drives right back to the suspect's apartment. Looking slightly wobbly, Duke gives his clandestine cutie several more deep smooches. They finally separate. Jessica drives away while Duke strolls into his apartment. Let's stick around as cameras maintain a stakeout on Duke's residence. Tonight, investigators watch the very same familiar white sedan. It pulls up out front. Detectives follow Duke and Jessica to a local shopping plaza hosting a pizzeria. The cheating couple enters the restaurant. Later, the dastardly duo takes their fresh pizza to the young lady's car. Duke briefly squeezes his appetizer before getting to the main entree. The suspect's secret side girl slides right onto the trunk. Duke and his dinner date enjoy each other more than the pizza. Sometime later, they pack it all up. Duke, ever the gentleman, holds the car door for his private partner. Tightly followed by our cameras, the white sedan cruises back to the suspect's apartment. Once they arrive, Duke gropes and kisses his side chick for an inordinate amount of time. Sometime later, the guilty couple parts both lips and ways. The suspect walks inside thinking nothing is wrong. Investigators prepare the hard truth for a suspicious Keisha. Coming up next, the ultimate confrontation. Now that the suspect has finally shown his true intentions, investigators place a call to Keisha, riddled with dread. Keisha still bravely agrees to meet. The host tells Keisha how much the team appreciates her reaching out to them. Acknowledging everything she has been through with Duke, the investigator asks if she is truly prepared to see the final surveillance footage. Keisha says yes. She is absolutely positive. The surveillance video rolls. Let's watch the tape unfold right alongside Keisha. The screen shows Duke walking out, grabbing a backpack from the trunk as a white vehicle waits. He climbs into the passenger side, and the white vehicle quickly drives away. They drive for quite some distance before arriving at a fast food restaurant. Duke actually gets out with the female. She walks inside, and he follows right behind. After grabbing food, the two come back out together. Pausing the video right there, the investigator gently asks Keisha if she recognizes the woman at all. Keisha didn't recognize her. Let's watch this unfold together as they walked outside. The investigators watched them chatting by her car. Duke held an ice cream cone in his hand before he stepped forward to open up. The driver's side door escorting her inside before sliding into the passenger seat. They drove away from the restaurant while the private detectives followed. Returning to Duke's house, the two stepped out, walked to the back of the car, and shared a deeply passionate kiss. He grabbed his heavy backpack. He headed back inside his house while she left. Stick with me. This is where it gets interesting. Later, outside Duke's home, a white vehicle pulled up and he emerged. He strolled over to the passenger side and got inside. The detectives tailed them closely until they arrived at a local park where the woman stepped out of the car. She sat on the trunk while he grabbed alcoholic drinks. They sat there drinking beer, acting incredibly romantic and kissing. The host turned to the devastated girlfriend, acknowledging how incredibly painful this was to watch. He insisted nobody deserved this. All right, he reassured the crying woman that she wasn't in this alone, comforting her as she broke down watching the painful footage. He promised they were there for her. While Duke and his mistress were at the park, drinking, partying, and relaxing, Duke received a call from Keisha. The investigators captured the exact audio from that deceitful conversation as it played out. The host asked if she remembered the following phone call. Duke answered the phone casually, asking if she was okay. She mentioned heading to the store and asked what he was doing. He lied, claiming he was just drinking and watching kids play football. Keisha immediately pressed him, asking if any females were around. He played dumb, admitting some women were nearby. He insisted they had kids with them and claimed he was completely devoted to her. She remained skeptical. The conversation grew tense as defensive accusations were thrown back and forth. She demanded to know who was sitting next to him. He swore nobody was. They falsely exchanged love for each other before hanging up. Devastated by the lies, Keisha couldn't watch any more footage. The host offered to stop the tape, saying they could leave if she had seen enough. He promised they would get on the road and locate them, ready to confront the cheating couple and force Duke to take responsibility for this betrayal. She was ready. With a clear plan, he led her out and towards the vehicle. He announced he just received intel from the private detective. You and I are about to see what happens next. The crew headed to the park to confront the two cheaters. Duke spotted the cameras and immediately started cursing. Keisha confronted him, screaming and demanding to know what was going on. She kept asking who the other woman was, while Duke panicked, begging the host to talk for a minute in private. Keisha repeatedly demanded answers. Duke frantically played dumb, asking why she brought all these people and pretending he had no idea what she meant. She reminded him of his lies, crying that he sat there promising he wasn't with that woman anymore. Cornered, Duke shoved at the lens, insisting it wasn't him and demanding names. He kept denying his own identity, lying straight to their faces to avoid the truth. Today, you and I are watching a total disaster unfold. The girlfriend yelled that he lied to both of them. The other woman just claimed they had been together for 2 years. The main girlfriend scoffed at the idea of a 2-year affair. She refused to believe it had been 2 full years. She already knew about Jess claiming he promised to kick her out. She demanded the cheating boyfriend step up and explain his obvious lies. She pushed him for answers, waiting for a pathetic excuse. She cornered him, demanding to know if he was going to come clean. He completely ignored her, loudly demanding his things. He pathetically tried to deny everything, deflecting the blame onto her. He then had the nerve to ask for his shoes. The host quickly pointed out that his girlfriend bought those shoes. She paid for the very shoes he was trying to take. He kept begging for his sneakers, shocked at how the confrontation was ending. He acted completely confused and highly defensive. Jess repeated that they had been a couple for 2 years while the guy just kept yelling about his missing shoes. Everyone reminded him that the woman he betrayed actually bought his expensive footwear. He groaned, frustrated that they would not just hand them over. Finally, she told him he could keep them. She wanted absolutely nothing to do with him anymore. Let's figure this out together. The scene was highly embarrassing. The host stepped in, asking the girlfriend to explain exactly what had happened. She explained that he supposedly left the other woman 2 years ago. She warned Jess that he was a liar, humiliated that a huge crowd was now staring right at her. She just scoffed. The crowd told them to stop. The guy complained about the giant camera crew still pathetically begging the host for the shoes his girlfriend bought him. The crew politely asked bystanders to step aside, trying to clear the area. The host challenged his manhood directly, asking the cheating boyfriend why he could not just be honest and tell his partner the actual truth. He told the camera crew to back off, playing dumb and pretending he had absolutely no idea what they were talking about. He even denied his own identity. The host called out his nonsense, demanding to know if he would finally confess. He kept stalling, refusing to admit that it was really him caught on tape. The guy threatened to knock the host out, giving him a 5-second warning to back away from the situation. He threatened physical violence, while the host calmly told him not to run. He asked what they were doing. The host reminded him that the truth always follows. He complained to the crowd, looking like a total fool. The main girlfriend sarcastically told Jess to enjoy her time with him. The host urged the guy that this was his perfect moment to come clean. The host warned that this was likely his very last chance to speak the truth. She yelled at him, asking what he could possibly say. She pointed out he was constantly lying to both women at once. He desperately asked the crew to stop recording, acting confused and very annoyed. Jess tried speaking up again about her 2-year relationship. The main girlfriend screamed that those 2 years did not matter at all. She yelled that nothing mattered. She furiously brought up how she took care of things, providing rides everywhere after a drunk driving arrest. She offered to drop him back at his mother's house in total disgrace. So what do you and I make of this mess? She demanded her clothes back, while the host kept pushing for real answers. Let's watch as the mistress exposes their secret 2-year affair. She confessed they dated on and off for 2 solid years. She knew about his girlfriend, but he swore that relationship was already dead and completely over. He desperately begged to talk privately. He hated having his messy infidelity broadcasted to the entire world. The host reminded him the scandalous secret was already out. Meanwhile, his girlfriend's buddy stepped up, declaring absolute loyalty to her over cheating Duke. The friend offered his full support to the betrayed woman, making it totally clear he had absolutely zero time for Duke's blatant disrespect. Tensions continued to rise. The host pressed the unfaithful boyfriend to finally come clean and speak the absolute truth. He urged the cheating partner to ignore the shouting and explain himself. Was he simply getting sick and totally tired of his main girlfriend? What actually happened here? Duke stumbled over his excuses. He pathetically confessed he just got bored blaming his terrible life choices on heavily drinking alcohol. Duke claimed he never meant to hurt either woman, declaring he was totally finished. The girlfriend scoffed loudly. Duke insisted his cheating days were over. The mistress fired back, claiming she warned him to leave his girlfriend. The furious, betrayed partner quickly snapped back, telling the homewrecker to shut her mouth. Caught completely in the middle, Duke shamefully admitted he actually loved both women. The host challenged Duke to finally be honest and tell his girlfriend how he genuinely felt. He strictly warned everyone against getting physical. Duke had to step up and be a man. He urged the two-timer to repeat his private confession out loud, to finally be radically honest with the vulnerable woman he had so deeply betrayed. Duke mumbled that the heavy alcohol always took over whenever his main girlfriend was unfortunately away. He guiltily admitted he spent all those lonely hours talking constantly with his mistress. He confessed to being incredibly selfish. The heartbroken girlfriend immediately demanded he go home with his toxic side piece and never come back. She firmly told him to leave. You and I can clearly see that the absolute worst of this nightmare scenario is finally over. He rightly pointed out that Duke couldn't possibly do anything to make this disastrous cheating situation worse. The mistress smugly showed off a wilting rose, cruelly mocking their completely dying relationship. The devastated girlfriend was disgusted, realizing Duke never even bought her beautiful flowers. The supportive friend stepped in to comfort the girlfriend, praising her looks. Duke pathetically begged for a second chance. The host reminded Duke of the faithful love he had carelessly ruined forever. The girlfriend was ready to leave, totally rejecting Duke's desperate pleas to talk without the cameras. She absolutely refused to speak with him. He wished Duke luck checking on her. Was she all right? The host gently pulled her aside, urging the heartbroken victim to just calmly listen. He promised everything would be totally fine once they finally got away from this mess. He assured her the cheater wasn't worth it, while Duke angrily swatted at the intrusive cameras. The crew firmly warned the angry boyfriend to stop touching their camera. The host asked about her future plans, now completely free from lugging around a horribly immature, childish man. He was basically a grown adult, lacking any basic human self-control. He couldn't even handle his alcohol. She nodded in agreement. We leave Keisha at a major crossroads, her difficult future still hanging in the balance. You and I are about to see cheaters expose her plan. But next, Jason McCarthy explains how his former girlfriend came crawling back, begging for forgiveness. It all happened after that fateful night he busted her on camera. The exact same night, Jason explained how everything he thought he knew about his relationship slowly and painfully unraveled. The ultimate truth he discovered that evening was genuinely shocking to him. It validated his suspicions, proving that his gut feelings were entirely correct. He knew his instincts were spot on, even if the heated confrontation pushed him way too far over the edge. It nearly broke him. The drama forced him to become someone else, yet he finally got the closure he desperately needed out of it. The clash was explosive. "Who the hell are you right now, bro?" Jason screamed back. "You know exactly who I am, bitch," the rival yelled back. "Get off me. You don't know who I am." "No idea. Get off." Chaos erupted as the two men kept screaming. To Jason, her total lack of care for him as a human being proved that their entire romance meant absolutely nothing. He constantly wondered how Catherine could ever treat him this terribly. Seeing her throw herself at another man right in front of him was brutally wrong. A total betrayal he never expected to witness. He realized he never wanted a partner like that. Suddenly, the rival threatened him, shouting, "Do you think you are coming at me like that, bro?" Jason yelled. "You have no idea." Absolutely no idea at all. Catherine screamed at Jason. "You bastard! I don't love you!" Jason desperately pleaded with her, asking for just 1 minute to talk. But she refused. She told him to back away. She refused to engage. What was going on? Jason demanded to know what happened when her actual boyfriend arrived. She called him stupid, telling him to look at the guy. Now let's unpack the aftermath of this confrontation together. After they finally busted Catherine, she began blowing up Jason's phone, desperately trying to talk, and hopelessly attempting to rekindle their shattered romance. She tried fixing things, but Jason was completely fed up with it all. He had already moved on and met someone entirely new. He met a new woman at Burger Girl that very same night. Jason pushed towards his career, doing 100% better. His new relationship is going wonderfully well. He absolutely couldn't ask for a better partner than his current girlfriend. He is in a great place. Furious at her ex for his blatant disrespect, Keisha Simmons confirmed to everyone that she completely severed all ties with the suspect. Keisha firmly stated that he didn't leave much at her place, but whatever he did leave behind, she had already taken outside and burned. The suspect, Duke, initially refused to speak with the cheater's producers, but after a few persistent questions, Duke finally opened up. He grumbled about losing his girl, his cash, and everything else. He didn't even have shoes. Let's hear what the companion had to say about it. She complained that Duke messed with her head for 2 long years, just playing senseless games with her heart. She fiercely rejected him, telling him to hit the curb and keep stepping. She never even cried, and his heart was shattered. He insisted they get all their programming from Goldstein's. Otherwise, they'd both lose money.